Welcome to the driver's line. I'm Greg.
And I'm Jordan.
And today, we've got an intervention.
Yes, and today's intervention is a very, very deserving candidate.
Yes.
It's Maserati.
Yes. We have a Ghibli for our use today, and we are going to use it to show you guys everything that is wrong with Maserati.
Yeah, and hopefully present some options to get things a little bit better on
That's
there.
right. A little bit better. A lot of good things out there. This is not one of them.
No.
And we're about to show you why, so stay tuned. Oh. It just sounds
so bad.
This one sounds particularly bad.
Yeah. Well,
we can't say that's necessarily going to be every Ghibli, but this one has something loose in the rear exhaust.
Yeah.
And it sounds horrible. At least on that initial upshift. I don't know. The other ones after it don't sound bad. Oh, no, they still sound bad.
I mean, I think it's, you know, one of the benefits of having an Italian car is supposed to be the sound.
Yes.
And I don't know if it's just this particular example. It very well might be, because it has a check engine light.
Yeah, it's a check engine light. It has green wheels. Some choices were made with this vehicle that are not great, and you know, a Maserati probably requires a certain level of maintenance with an open checkbook, which this one has not had.
Yeah,
again, we've got a check engine light. We've got a code.
What are the codes?
I don't even know, but
I don't even know.
I'll tell you what, here's what we're gonna do.
We're gonna do this.
We're gonna take this to AutoZone.
Oh yeah, that's a good idea.
And we're gonna get the codes read to see exactly what they are.
Well, one would imagine that in an executive saloon, there would be plenty of passenger space.
Yeah, this Ghibli has none. The back seats, we're not sitting like way back. We're not like, you know, driving like a gangster or anything like that. Yeah. We have these seats in probably a normal driving position for the front. You know, our knees are bent. Yeah. We're not straight out or anything like that. And I don't know, there's maybe about 6 or 7 inches back there between the rear seat and the seat back in the front. It's a big car too. This thing is bigger than my Cadillac, and there is definitely no more interior room than my car.
I was gonna say it's pretty comparable with the back seat. I would say,
the back seat's equally bad.
What I would say though is that the Cadillac has definite better build quality than this.
Yeah, the build quality here is extremely poor.
Chrysler-esque.
Yeah, very Chrysler-esque, and you know, that's one of the biggest complaints about this car is it's got a lot of Chrysler switchgear in it. The window controls, both passenger and driver, are straight out of a Dodge Dart. The indicator with the windshield wiper controls is from a Dodge Caravan. Things just kind of move around. I will say the one thing that's decent is that we don't have a lot of squeaks and rattles.
Yep, that's true. I haven't heard much of that. This car has a little over 50,000 miles, but it is 10 years old, so...
you would expect a few rattles here and there.
Not too many.
And that's not the only rattles in the exhaust.
Yeah. It does rattle a fair bit.
So this is the Q4 Ghibli, right? So we've got about a 400 horsepower twin turbo 3-liter V6, right?
We do. It's got 4-wheel drive, and it's able to, you know, shift that on the fly. So it does seem like it tends to want to stay in 80-20, 80% rear and 20% front, unless it detects some slippage, which earlier it has. It's been doing about 50-50 if it's a rainy day here. So when it detects that slippage, it does tend to shift somewhat.
Understeer.
All right. All right, handled pretty decently.
Yeah, that's not bad.
Ish. Considering the size, I mean, it's.
I knew this was what, roughly 80,000.
Yeah.
For this model.
I'm not sure I would spend $80,000 on a car like this. To be honest with you. Definitely better choices, especially once you know who's paying base 80, right? You're definitely on a Maserati. You're going to customize this.
You're gonna get some options, right? Yeah, I mean, you're not walking out without less than like, you know, $5,000 to $10,000 in options.
Yeah.
And this one, Honestly, I couldn't even tell you if it has any options on it. Things don't work that well.
Yeah,
this faux carbon fiber trim doesn't look great, and the thing doesn't want to close sometimes.
It's a little temperamental.
Yeah.
Very Italian.
Very Italian. The little door here feels oddly light.
Yeah.
We'll do a bit here.
And the leather is peeling away.
Yeah, the leather's peeling on the console cover.
Yeah.
But we do have this nice, like, clothy upper car.
Yeah.
It's actually not
It does
bad.
feel pretty good. That exhaust, though.
This sounds so bad. I hope and don't hope, for the sake of our viewers, that it's picking that sound up. One, because it sounds so bad, I don't want you to hear it. But then you also need to hear it to hear how bad it sounds.
We'll have to patch them in, but
yeah.
You know, I mean, again, typically, you buy an Italian car for the way it sounds, and I'm hoping that they don't all sound this way.
Right.
After all, I mean, the engine it's hand built by Ferrari. After all.
Yeah. Fancy pants.
Yeah.
Which is why we have a check engine light.
With the check engine light illuminated on our dash, we decided to take the Maserati to a local AutoZone to see what exactly was wrong with it.
With AutoZone pulling a few codes from our Maserati, that gave us an indication that it might have issues with oxygen sensors, the wastegate on the turbo, and the intake boost pressure sensor. Needless to say, this Ghibli was a little bit sick. The ride quality is not great. I mean, it's average. I would say it's not horrible, but it's not good.
It will stay relatively flat in the corners, but it also has a tendency to also float at the same time. It's a weird combination.
Yeah. There's a Mercedes. You bought a better car.
I mean, it's kind of sad when you think about, I mean, Maserati's history, right back in 1914, starting off as a manufacturer of fine spark plugs.
Yes.
And then entering into the racing arena and winning several events. But
so they were a peer of Ferrari.
Yeah.
Like all the way up through like the 50s.
Yeah.
And then after that, they just go.
Yeah, I mean, when you think about the brand itself, I mean, hey, we're going to make luxury Ferrari sedans, basically, and coupes. And now we're sitting in a car.
This does not feel like a luxury Ferrari sedan.
No.
I mean, this feels like the furthest thing from a luxury Ferrari sedan.
It honestly kind of feels like, they saw a segment that we have to compete in to get some more sales and get some more folks in the door. What is the easiest way we can possibly do that? Let's take the Quattroporte platform, shorten it a bit, and let's throw some Chrysler switch here and there and call it a day. We're good to go.
We're good to go. Nobody's going to notice the difference that they're using the buttons out of a Dodge Dart.
No.
Nobody notices that you're going to be using the indicator out of a Grand Caravan. And the models with the flappy paddles, which ours is missing for some reason.
I'm not sure where they are.
But on the models with the flappy paddles, they stick out so far that it's tough to use the indicator because Maserati was too lazy to engineer their own.
That's what we got here.
Mail. You chose a better car too.
That's rough. That's rough. It was a Mercedes.
It was a Mercedes. It wasn't an LV. This is on par with an Iron Duke LV. I'm kidding. It's better. Switch some spots here.
Let Greg experience the Maserati Ghibli. He got it in a gear.
Finally. That is the jankiest gear softener I think I've ever had in my life.
And there's no reason for it.
No.
Other than saving money.
What are you doing, truck? Don't hit me. I'm not Maserati.
Maserati. I don't know. I feel like Maserati has it is truly like the Dodge of.
Why are you just saying that? Because they're on my Stellantis. What is on my stuff here? They're just saying that because it's part of Stellantis.
No, I mean it's just.
Give it the beans. Well, nothing's happening.
Told you. It just shift through two gears right after each other.
That is terrible. It has absolutely nothing off the line.
I know.
God almighty.
Yeah, you gotta rev the hell out of it. But, Well, you are in. Oh, you're in sport mode too.
Yeah, that was bad.
Ooh. Imagine it in regular or ice mode.
I know.
Let's try to come up with the most complicated terminology we can.
Oh man.
See, I feel like a car like a Maserati really shouldn't need a sport mode. It should come as sport mode.
Yeah, I know, it should be sport mode. The only thing you should be able to do is open and close the exhaust.
Exactly.
Everything should be sport mode all the time.
Yep. I mean, that's the reason you're buying this over a Mercedes, an Audi, a BMW,
Yeah.
maybe. You know, its dedication to performance and flamboyance, if you will.
Yeah, I mean, I will say this is not a very flamboyant car.
It's really not. That's true.
It's
From the outside,
yeah. I mean, it kind of runs underneath the radar. It's got clean looks, but nothing great.
Yeah.
I don't know if you noticed, but your driver's side mirror is vibrating.
Oh,
that makes
I think you did that.
I didn't do anything. I think the build quality of some drunk Italians did that. A little too much Prosecco.
I wonder if we take this car over this road, how many times it take to knock off that road.
We take it over this bumpy road. This is a bumpy road.
It
In
is
all
yeah.
fairness to the Maserati.
There's lots of expansion joints that have been patched
Yes.
over here. It's tough.
But this thing also pulls very strongly towards center.
My goodness.
Almost like it's trying to kill itself. It's like I'm a Frankenstein creation. And I need to murder myself.
It's putting itself out of its misery.
Yeah, I know.
That's sad.
I feel bad. I mean, this car is still around today, and that's part of what Maserati's problem is, the stale product. We've talked about this in the past. Turtle, we've talked about this in the past, and they have so much stale product, right?
Yes.
Like, they've got this, they've got the Quattroporte, they've got
Levante.
I couldn't remember what it was called,
Yeah.
thank you.
And there's another one. There's another SUV.
Oh, the Grecale.
Grecale, which
Yes.
is, I don't know.
But that's actually newer than these.
It is the newest one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's just very, very stale product, and they're not really putting a lot of investment into it.
Well, now they do have the, MC20.
Yes, the MC20 is fantastic. So
Yeah.
we,
As long
can,
as it's
we
working.
can talk about where Maserati is going a little bit. I still want to talk about where they've been.
Yeah.
And where they've been has not been great.
It really, no. Well, it started off okay. I mean, it was race-bred engineering,
Yeah.
which is where most of these Italian places started off, right?
I'm sorry, Honda, I can't go any faster.
We're trying our best.
Person's like, why does it take that Maserati so long to accelerate?
Yeah.
Well, we do have the Q4, so we've got 400 horsepower. It doesn't really feel like it.
It does.
This thing weighs probably, what, 4,000 pounds?
Yeah. Just
So
over.
you feel the heft in it, which is not great. I mean, in a car like this, you want to feel nimble and lightweight, and it just doesn't.
I will say the steering gives you a decent amount of feedback,
Yeah,
considering
the steering's okay.
considering where it's at.
It was pretty tight.
Yeah. But it should be top notch.
It should be
You're
top
paying
notch.
this kind of money, and you're losing out on reliability, brand equity, build quality. I mean, technology.
Yeah, you're losing out on a few components, frankly.
It's capable of better. I mean, especially when you're sharing teams with Ferrari at the time. I mean,
Right, exactly.
God.
And so, Maserati is going somewhere right now, which is certainly an improvement over where they've been. I mean, it's unfortunate that you still have to pay over $100,000 to get a new Quattroporte. Probably still over $80,000 to get a new Ghibli, which the thing is not worth remotely that kind of money.
Definitely not. Definitely not. And you're gonna. I mean, hopefully you're not buying this new.
No.
That is your money that you're buying this with is vaporized
Yes,
the moment you drive this off the lot.
100%.
I mean, a
yes.
car like this on the market now, you're looking at just over $20,000.
Right. Yeah, I mean, you can get yourself into a Maserati for 20 grand. You can get into a Quattroporte in the current body style for like 15. I mean, this is a car that was well over $100,000.
Oh,
I just don't understand. I mean, but, again, where Maserati's going now is certainly an improvement, okay? So
yeah.
they have just re-released the Gran Turismo, the Gran Cabrio,
Mm-hmm.
and they've also come out with their new Folgore. I think I said that right. Folgore brand, which is going to be hybrids and EVs.
Yeah.
And so they actually made a Folgore version of the Gran Turismo, which comes with 3 electric motors and over 700 horsepower.
You do miss out on that Ferrari noise.
I mean, does it really that great?
I mean, not in this. Like, it's really like, I mean, I feel like it should be. Maybe from the outside it's better, but
yes.
If you're sitting in here and driving around, maybe it's something you want to give up.
Yeah, it's not that great.
Driving this around in sport, oof, I don't know. Yeah. I'm curious where the brand ends up if it's just EV specific. Because, I don't know, it adds weight. I'm sure it adds a fair amount of performance. Better than this for sure.
Yes. It's so flat.
Yeah.
I mean, for a car that's supposed to be a performance car, this is not.
No.
It's a somewhat powerful executive sedan. That's about the best you can call it.
Yeah, and has some interesting styling elements.
Yes.
But it's pretty watered down. When you look back at Maserati's styling history, too, I mean, like the A6 that they came out with post-war, it's gorgeous. Gorgeous flowing lines, balanced. I mean, Aston Martin-esque. Yes. And then compare that with this. And look at where Aston is now.
I know, Aston is on another planet.
I mean,
by comparison. I mean, they're not even in the same solar system.
No. They've fallen so far. In the 80s, you got your experimental kind of design language where a lot of those brands are going wedge-shaped, clean lines, like the bi-turbo, famous bi-turbo that Maserati came out with. This is just kind of like a hodgepodge of styling elements. I mean, you got the portholes at the front, you know, the portholes. The grill is there, but everything's so like tacked on. Yeah, it seems so like everything's an afterthought in this car.
Everything is an afterthought. Nothing was done logically. But I will say that's kind of the Italian way, right? Like, I mean, everything is done more difficult than it needs to be. Like, for example, the heated seats. I challenged Jordan earlier to putting on the heated seats.
Didn't go well.
And where every other manufacturer almost on the planet will give you a physical button to turn on and off your heated seat, this one makes you go through the screen.
Yeah. No
Why?
There's no reason for it. But I mean, that being said, I don't know if it's better to go through the screen or to have to deal with these cheap feeling buttons for the HVAC system, because this reminds me of how awful these buttons are. It's sadness.
Yeah, these are extremely cheap feeling materials. The plastics, buttons, everything feels like it came out of a Dodge because it probably did.
Yeah. So what's the reason for buying this car? Can you think of one?
Because you want to look like you have money. That is the only reason to buy this car.
Yeah.
It doesn't perform.
No.
It doesn't give you a lot of space. It doesn't give you a lot of utility. It's not particularly comfortable.
Well, seats are okay.
I mean, it is okay.
Yeah. But, I mean, should a car that costs upwards of $100,000 on specs just feel okay? I mean, really.
So we pulled off here to, chat about the interior a little bit. I know we've touched on it some in our drive, but we need to talk about how truly bad this is. Chrysler switchgear notwithstanding, it's not great. Like, it's not intuitive to use the shifter. It doesn't make a lot of sense.
Not for something with sporting intentions, for sure.
How do you get into manual mode? You have to be in drive. Yeah. We're in drive.
Pull it back again.
Yep. You have to pull it back again to go into manual
mode.
Now
put it in drive. How do you put it in drive?
Well, but like you have to be able to shift between manual modes. So so I can get second.
Now put it back in drive.
I'll probably have to hit the button and go up. No, that's park.
Imagine.
Oh my god.
It's
not like you would literally have to come to a stop because you would then be driving down the road trying to put the damn car in park.
You're donezo.
That's in drive.
It's awful.
Neutral. All the way to park. I want to go to reverse. I can't go to reverse. I want to go to...
Push it forward all the way.
I'm pressing the brake. I'm in neutral right now. There
we go. And there's our super low res camera that popped up.
Oh, God.
Can't see a thing. Lines don't change when you change the wheel.
No.
As you turn,
it just stays straight. There's no turning. And we're going to cut to another shot of this, but these panel gaps on these doors are just the worst.
And you can put a book
that I've ever seen. Yeah, I mean, I've never seen anything that bad on the color of our car is black, which is probably a good thing because you can see the paint through that gap.
Yep.
That's how big that gap is. You can see the paint.
And with the gaps, I mean, even with the windows now, we have a very nice pillarless, frameless design, I should say, for the window. When you close it, sometimes this goes up, sometimes it doesn't.
Nope. Yeah, it decides what it wants to do.
And when it goes up, you still have about this much of the framing material, the waterproofing material that's exposed.
Yeah.
Why such a huge gap?
I don't understand it. I really don't.
It's bizarre.
It is bizarre.
And it's not the same on every door.
No, every door is different.
Yeah. This one's... There you go.
It's just so slow.
Yeah, I mean, and even around the glove box here, there's still giant gaps, and it doesn't line up. Up here is way wider than the middle, which opens back up at the bottom. I mean, this piece is just falling off, and there's not even there's that much foot space.
No, there's not.
The center tunnel just
Yeah.
carves right into your foot space here. For something that's an executive saloon. I mean,
and just the choice of materials is just so questionable. Like this faux carbon fiber stuff, because this is obviously fake.
Yeah,
just does not look good, and not really. Well, you can even see it peeling. It's peeling right here.
It is peeling. Oh no! Shh, don't show that. It is peeling.
Yeah, I mean this is just not great.
At least this is felt lined. You got that.
This felt line. It has a light inside of it, which I don't know why you need a light in that teeny little space, but okay.
Okay. Yeah, we got a glove box that has peeling leather on it. This doesn't want to open.
You have to press it. Yeah, there you go.
And there's cup holders in there for us for some reason.
Yes.
So you got plenty of cup holders here. You got
those are very small, though. You actually put some.
We'll have to try it.
Yeah.
Take the Maserati through a McDonald's drive-thru. But yeah, I mean, it's just not a fantastic place to be considering how much money you're spending.
And to turn these lights on, it gives us a pretty good push, and then you're reminded of how much.
Oh, I didn't even realize your light was on.
This thing.
I didn't even realize your light was on. It's so minimal. Oh, that button's sticky.
Yeah, and the buttons are sticky too.
Ooh.
Yeah, it doesn't. And this whole section moves up here, which is just not great.
I mean, considering the age of this is a 2014 model that we're in right now. I mean, this is honestly comparable to a Golf of that age.
No, I mean, the interior is no better than a Golf.
Yeah.
I mean, you've got a 2014 GTI, and the interior is every bit as nice as this.
I'd stack it up easily against this.
Yeah, 100%. Which is cost a fraction of what this costs new.
Oh,
you buy 3 Hermans for the price of this. 4 was new.
Yeah, I mean, it's hopefully it's something that they can fix down the road.
Herman sound like this.
Hey, with the right tune.
Be nothing but pops and crackles.
Yeah, well, this sounds like that 20% of the time. When you're driving it, it sounds different.
I know it does. It sounds better parked than it is.
I mean, really.
Yeah.
When a transmission is at play with it,
it
has no idea what's going on.
I know the transmission in this thing is garbage.
Yeah.
Absolute garbage.
Yeah. So a ton of the interactions that you're dealing with in this car, when your hands touch the steering wheel, the leather is rubbed off on it.
Yes.
I mean, for a 10-year-old $80,000 car that was new, that's totally unacceptable.
Yeah,
I mean, it really is. I mean, the shifter, horrible to interact with. As a driver's car, it's so disappointing.
Yeah, it's completely disappointing from top to bottom, which is just unfortunate.
Yeah. Although the gauges are nice. I'll give them that.
The gauges are nice and the needles are nice. Ours is illuminated right now with a check engine light, but aside from that, it's okay.
Oh, that's standard. That's standard feature.
Well, the power tilt and telescope still works.
There you go. It still works.
That's the beauty of a Maserati. You got to see what still works.
Yeah. It's like a little present when you get it.
It's a surprise every time. Yeah, you don't know. But needless to say, I would not shift any money to one of these.
No, definitely not sitting inside of one of these. Definitely not. Don't mind looking at one, but again, I'm not sure that it brings any. Like when you think about its contemporaries, okay, outside of the Panamera, because that era Panamera was pretty ugly. The newer one's definitely better.
Right. I mean, 2014 Panamera did not look nice. No. It was not a nice looking car.
But I mean, think about that generation S-Class.
Yeah.
That generation Beamer.
Yeah.
They all look better than this.
Oh, 100%.
In my opinion.
Yeah.
And they stand up better over time.
More reliable.
Better performance. They're not a Maserati. And I'm trying to understand why people like, oh yeah, I need a Maserati. That's where my money's going to be at.
Like, because, again, they want to look like they have money.
I guess.
But, I mean, I guess the question would be, who's the person buying the new Maserati because they actually do have money?
Yes.
Because you would actually have to have money to buy a Maserati.
Someone who has more money than sense.
Yes. And
not me. I mean,
sadly for Maserati, there's not that many of those people because they don't sell too many of these.
All right, well, that was a tour of the wonderful Maserati Ghibli and what we think about the Maserati brand right now.
Yeah, so they've got some exciting stuff coming. Hopefully, with the Ferrari brand, and I've seen some newer models, some refreshed models. Obviously, the MC20 is fantastic. They can kind of start turning it around, but yeah, older Maserati is very, very stale, and I would not recommend this.
Do not recommend. Stay away.
Thanks for joining us on The Driver's Line.
If you enjoyed this content, please like and subscribe to make sure you don't miss a thing.